The Prime Minister says he doesn't see what's wrong or what the issue is with anybody showing up to the airport and flying off with a plane that, you know, do you think there's a problem?
I think that's the problem with this government. Everything is so lackadaisical. They just leave everything out tomorrow, going to deal with it. There is no problem when we are seeing these problems looming in front of us. How on earth can we allow strangers to come and say, well, this plane is mine and I am going to take a test run and then just disappear with it, man? Something is wrong. How on earth can we be allowing planes to be landing on our highways and then nobody knows anything about it? I mean, these are questions that we need to ask, and the government is not giving us the answer. And again, the Prime Minister tries to wash away the problem, try to find a way, as a good lawyer that he is, he finds a way how he can answer and dance around without really answering the question. But Belize did not elect an attorney. Belize did not elect a trial lawyer. Belize elected a Prime Minister. Belize needs a Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister, our present Prime Minister, needs to start to act like a Prime Minister and lead this country. And wherever there's a problem, let's deal with it and let's solve the problem. When you see that, I mean, nobody can say who these people are, but yet the Prime Minister, for the first time I'm hearing that all of a sudden that it is the owners that came to pick up this plane.
But shouldn't there be a charge, a complaint, something lodged, you know, with if it is Mexico? I mean, somebody just came and flew off the plane. To me, if I'm a terrorist, I won't hijack a plane.
And that is precisely my point. That the Prime Minister just washes this under the rug, as if nothing is happening. If other countries hear what is happening here in Belize, airplanes like American Airlines and Delta and Continental, the USO, are very concerned about terrorist act in their country, and they start to hear and see how lax we are about security. This can have a direct impact in our tourism industry. It could have a direct impact on all of us, that we may not have these planes landing in Belize because they're not convinced that we have the necessary security in place to ensure that these things will not happen. And again, the Prime Minister, in typical fashion, sweeps it under the rug.
Okay, as one former Minister of Natural Resources, UNESCO gave us up until beginning of February to get our act straight in terms of the drilling in protected areas and the offshore drilling. The Prime Minister has stated his stance. He will not back down on drilling in protected areas. And while he stepped back on the OPIC, I mean, nobody believes really that they will ban offshore drilling. Where does that put us with UNESCO? And if UNESCO decides to delist the barrier reef, what ramifications will that have?
Well, if UNESCO were to decide to delist Belize, it's going to have a direct impact on our tourist product. The Belize barrier reef, I mean, is único, as we say in Spanish. It's one of its own. And we have tens of thousands of people coming into Belize to visit and dive in the Belize barrier reef. But apart from that, the barrier reef plays an important role in protecting our coastline. So that we as a government need to do everything possible to ensure that we do not become delisted. On the issue of offshore drilling and drilling in protected areas, I'd like to make a few points. First of all, our party has taken the position, the People's United Party has taken the position that we support the right of the Belizean people to have a referendum. And we are going to start to collect signatures to ensure that we can get the necessary numbers for us to hold a referendum. I think the Prime Minister is disingenuous when he tells you, well, we are going to wait, we're going to give you 3 months to see if you can get the signatures to have this referendum. If the Prime Minister was concerned and he felt that this is a decision for the Belizean people, he could call for a referendum. He does not have to wait until we get these signatures. He could immediately say, well, let's have the referendum and let the Belizean people decide. Well, we're going to help in getting those signatures so that we can allow the Belizean people to make the decision. The other point I like to make when it comes to drilling in protected areas, if our Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister of Natural Resources, would have only taken his time to read the National Protected Area System Plan. In that plan, it was a plan that was devised by the stakeholders, the NGO community, both in protected areas and the environment community. And for the very first time, we came up with a comprehensive plan as to how we're going to be managing these protected areas. And in that plan, we were talking several things, but among the different recommendations, one of it was for us to be able to revisit the protected areas and to look at reclassifying some of these protected areas. And in some instances, we would have had to open up some of these protected areas, but then take other areas that are necessary for the system, this whole system plan that we have in national protected areas. And that would have helped to address some of the issues when it comes to drilling in these protected areas. So it's just a matter of looking at the plan that we have, looking at some of the answers to these questions.